Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyperroll with Autarch, and this is a follow-up to a video I did last week called The Executioners, where I showed the Executioner build, and I then got an email from someone who I will not name, but they wanted to correct me because I had said I was doing Punk Executioners, and they mentioned that I never actually did Punk with the Executioners. So, this'll take care of that problem. Let's get straight to the Augments, because really nothing was showing itself. Now, you're going to think that I'd take Twin Terror because that is one of the things to do with VEX. But, no, I did not know. I didn't have a VEX yet. I didn't have a build yet at that point. I was just grabbing some random things as I went. So, I grabbed the BF sword just to know that I'd have additional damage. And it looks like Punk is getting a smidge of a buff in the next patch, so this might even be more viable. But long story short, I happened to find a rapid fire Jinx, couldn't find additional Guardians, so I'm essentially planning on using Vi as an item holder to do rapid fire Guardians. And this game is being super stingy with Guardians. We manage a measly cannon as our Guardian, and it's very interesting knowing how this turns out to see how it grows into what it becomes. And more about that in a second. For this item choice, nothing really exciting, so I just grabbed the Champion Duplicator. But a lot of people talk about pivoting in TFT as a playstyle, and while it does have a place, often what they mean is just waiting until late in the game, dumping their whole team, and then hoping to get a better one. This game is more what I see as a really good pivot. Realizing what you're doing isn't working out quite the way you wanted it to, and then taking advantage of what the game is giving you. I picked up a Samira to go along with the Twitch so I could start to think about going Executioner. Then getting a VEX here made me think, yeah, let me go that way. And instead of doing Rapid Fire Guardian, we can go Punk Executioner. Now, with this new thought in mind, we go into the next set of augments, and Partial Ascension isn't going to work as well with that because it's not necessarily a build that lasts a long time, but you are going to still want to have a really strong front line. So go ahead with Unified Resistance. That way we can set up at least some Guardians in front, but it's going to be more about getting a backline that is strong with Executioners. So the goal is still going to be to try to get at least 4 Guardians in front, so we're getting that shielding while the backline's able to now take things out. And in my head I realize without a Tactician's Crown of some kind, or new recruit, however we get there, I cannot go to 6 Executioners with 4 Guardian and maintain 4 Punk. Something's going to have to give in that whole equation because there's only 10 spots on the board. And at some point in this adventure, Jinx has to go. We're not doing rapid fire anymore. So the plan is to get to Executioner. Likely stage 8 is the place to do this when you have a chance of getting 3s and 4s because you might get VEX or Karthus. Time for our final augment, and nothing exciting here. Stationary support isn't bad. Normally with this type of build I would go with Ascension. However, again, I expect Executioners to attack much more rapidly. So not necessarily going to hold out for the full Ascension. We get an amazing support item that's going to keep everyone healed. So this is going to be very good for a Guardian frontline. So after we get through this fight, a lot of things are going to happen. Number 1, we're going to get the Radiant Blessing, so we're going to see what kind of items we can get, or blessing we're going to get, that's going to help the team out. 2, it's going to be time to switch and start looking for the Executioner headliner to fill out this team. And so first we will deal with the Radiant Blessing. Probably should have grabbed this one, but only can say that in retrospect, because then I started rolling, hoping to maybe get an Executioner emblem, something like that, or something that would really work. As we're rolling along and time is ticking, I realize I'm going to have to just make a decision here and find one that isn't totally offensive. This has a Warmogs that'll be useful for a Moo, and then a Guard Breaker and another glove, and then it also gives me an Abyssal helmet that I can't do anything with. I have no idea why that came along. And due to all the time I took looking through the Radiant Blessings, didn't have enough time to roll, but I did manage to find VEX Executioner after the match started, was able to get another one, use my duplicator, so now when we come out of this fight, there will be a gold 3-star VEX on the board. And we'll go straight into what was a really tough decision. It offered me a Punk emblem. This meant I could turn a Kali into a Punk, pull Jinx off the board, and then go to 6 Executioners. But it would mean I'd have to find Samira again, because I gave her up, and at this point I'd rather just add more power to VEX, because she is going to be the carry in this game. And further, since I know Samira's in demand because I've seen the other country teams, I might not be able to get her again, and to get the Punk emblem and give up the Rabadon's death cap for something there's a good chance I'm not going to be able to make happen, just didn't feel like a good risk at the time. Time for an item choice, and it's a no-brainer. The Nashter's Tooth is a fantastic VEX item, especially since she is ticking Emo along with a Moo. We can give a Kali the Thieves' Glove, and we are left with one additional slot that we can use either for an additional Guardian or bring in Karthus as an Executioner. That'll be the 5th Executioner, and more execution never really hurt anyone, except the one being executed. But after that fight, we find ourselves into the top 4, and with an item choice to make, and we might as well go for the Infinity Edge and put it on Twitch just to complete his ensemble. Now, if I had taken Twin Terror in the first Augment, we would be bringing the second VEX in, obviously, or already have the second VEX in as part of the build. However, sans that, it's going to be Karthus, who we just 2-starred, who can come in stage 10. Final item choices of the game, and Rabadon's Death Cap, easy choice for Karthus. We want to get some power on him. Blue buff, not really useful for Karthus. Spear of Sojin would be, so we can go with an additional frontline item to put on our 2-star Yorick to make sure the frontline remains strong and gives our Executioners enough time to do their job. And I'm honestly not sure what to make of this other team. It's a little bit of everything. There's some Punk, there's some Rapid Fire, there's some Executioner, there's some Guardian, there's some Emo, but not really enough of anything to take on a team as concentrated as ours. But it's still a really interesting mix that made it into the top 4. And we are now facing off against a country Executioner Bruiser team with the gold 3-star Samira, which is why I didn't think I was going to be able to get a Samira had I taken the Punk emblem. Their Karthus is much better itemized than our Karthus, but we have that training dummy with healing on it, so that is going to help keep our front line alive longer, and our VEX is just absolutely destructive. As you can see, being able to hide behind the training dummy and still reach out and attack wins us the round. And we end up in the 1v1 against the Mosher Punk Emo Executioner team that has just a little bit of everything. It's focusing mainly on Mosher, which is going to be buffed a little bit at 6 in the next patch, so might be a little bit more viable. The one complaint I have with their positioning is they put Urgot directly in the front, and he's ranged, so he could actually stand behind that front line. Instead, he goes down really, really quickly, and that just kind of opens up the team to attack. And while their Twitch is super strong in the back, our Karthus is able to finish that out, and again, VEX can stand behind that training dummy and just destroy things, and it is soon GG for everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I finally done Punk Executioner correctly. Did I? I hope so. And as always, hope you have an absolutely awesome day.